Hello, bonjour, and hola, and welcome to the America's Competitiveness Exchange. Bienvenue au Canada, bienvenidos to all of our friends from the community of nations in the Western Hemisphere as well.
I think I could say this is one of the most, if not the most, diverse group of ACE participants yet. And for us in Canada, diversity is a core value and central to our vision for inclusive, sustainable innovation.
I think it is wonderful that Canada is hosting this very important event. I know you're going to be visiting a number of places around the province in southern Ontario. I think it is very fitting that you start in the city of Toronto.
It truly is going to be an exciting week. There will be opportunities for you to get to know each other and opportunities to learn from each other. However rich we are in resources, our countries must also develop the resourcefulness of their people.
I would like to talk about what I call the 4 C's: cities, collaboration, connections, and commitment. In particular, I want to investigate how these 4 C's combine to foster innovation in our regions.
I think the idea is, and America is coming to this point right at the end of the speech, which is, what is your level of ambition? You're going to see as you go over the next few days some great examples in Waterloo and Toronto and Niagara of cluster activity. As a government, though, what we want to do is really drive these clusters to be global.
The participants got on board a bus and took a trip to the west to visit water treatment plant.
And I'm pleased to welcome you to JLAS to kick off the life sciences portion of the America's Competitiveness Exchange. Our passion for building resilient communities for the health of Canadians is something that we share, and this very facility you're sitting in at this moment is a testament to what can be accomplished when the government, academia, hospitals, and private sector companies such as Johnson & Johnson come together to help entrepreneurs move their science forward.
In the topic of life science, I think it's really relevant. Given that we share the problems, we can share the solutions. So that's something that I'm really happy about and learning from the Canadian experience.
Isolation is a recipe for economic destitution. But I think what we're about here in this room is not about building walls between our countries. It's about tearing those walls down. It's about tearing those walls down.
Very specifically, I'm working with one of my colleagues, Minister Mahaichuk, to increase co-op positions in STEM fields and for Indigenous youth, for young women. I've had repeated discussions with the post-secondary community.
I think that we need to, as parents, as educators, as elected officials and administrators, we need to figure out what are those intentional things that we can do to provide those open doors for particularly young girls in this conversation.
As you may know, Panama is one of the main important financial centers in Latin America. Most of 80% of our assets came from Latin America. One of the things I thank for this panel today is the combination between education and financial assets and technology. In Panama, we don't have that relationship between the financial centers and the university.
I thought it was fantastic. It's actually one of my favorite activities of the trip so far, just because it's very hands-on and it was a great connection. First of all, the commonalities between my sector's industries and the people that we were meeting with, so it was good to hear that one-on-one, and it was good to learn from their perspective and their experience how they do business here in Ontario.
We love Americans. We love Central Americans. We love people from the Caribbean. We love people from South America. Why? Because they can come here and they can settle here and they can be comfortable here because there are other people like them here, because every country you could name has a community here in the most diverse city in the world.
Day 3 of ACE number 6 started at the University of Waterloo, where we toured the awesome Cedra Student Design Center and saw solar cars and other things getting built. And we heard lots about the University of Waterloo's strengths in STEM and co-op programs and how a university integrates itself into economic development. We then boarded the bus and headed off to Communitech, which is the entrepreneurship hub for the region, and we saw how everybody's working together to make that hub successful, both University of Waterloo's Velocity as well as the hub for the massive community of entrepreneurs here in Waterloo. After that, we went to see some of the world-leading technology at the RAC 2 building in the research park here at the University of Waterloo. Then we finished off the evening at the Quantum Nano Center here on campus with a lovely dinner and reception.
It's a matter of us all working together, and I would say that Canada is here to work with you. We are so happy that ACE6 is taking place here. We know that the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Justin Trudeau, was happy to know that you were coming here for ACE6, and we will continue to work with the Americas, with the entire hemisphere, because we want to see all of our success together.
Day 4 of the Americas Competitive Exchange Program. We started our day at the Perimeter Institute.
When I came to this country, I discovered that there were all these amazing things, like, for instance, we had libraries. So I learned about this, and I went into computers, electronics, and I came to this city and discovered this amazing university here that had a co-op program. So I don't know if you had a chance to talk to them about co-op, but co-op was an amazing thing.
We later on arrived at the city of Hamilton at the McMaster Automotive Research Center. We experienced advanced manufacturing tours. Later on, we participated on a working lunch where we saw a panel on the manufacturing industry in transition.
ICT allows, in the case of Belize, will allow the young people to just participate more in the economic development because they have ideas. They know how to use technology better than any other generation. And it's how do they use that technology? And Canada shows that.
We then arrived at the McMaster Innovation Park, where we participated in life sciences presentations and toured beautiful research facilities. We ended our day at a beautiful reception at the Harbourfront Hamilton Queen boat, docked at the Port of Hamilton, where we networked with our colleagues.
I would say that for every country in Latin America, what is interesting in the case of what we've seen here is the communion of thought between federal government, local authorities, academia, and entrepreneurs.
I think one of the highlights of this week's tour was the visit to Quantum Valley and all the research institutes around that or inside it. I find it a very unique infrastructure, and this is one of the things I'm going to take back home with me to see how we can develop more models for cooperation.
Day 5 of the Americas Competitive Exchange. It started off in the morning with a tour and welcome at the Vinland Research and Innovation Center, where we spoke with various persons who were involved in research. After that, we went to Niagara College, where we were welcomed by the president, and there was a panel on agri-food. There was a lunch that was prepared for us by the Junior Canadian Culinary Olympic team. After that, we took a tour at Southbrook Vineyards. They grow organic grapes. After that, we took a tour of the Niagara Falls. Following that, we had a lovely closing ceremony.
Tonight's closing ceremony is bittersweet. As this exciting tour comes to an end, preparations for the next ACE tour from Texas are well underway. As I'm sure you appreciated during this journey, inclusivity is an important Canadian value. It has been a pleasure for Canada and Ontario to host this distinguished delegation, and we hope the ACE tour will return to another part of our country in the near future.